Opening race weekend of the Women's Monobob World Cup at Whistler in Canada. 9 sleds from 4 nations heading into the second heat. Switzerland's Melanie Hassler put down a 5th best start and a 5th best run in the first of the 2 heats of the women's mono here in Whistler, and with Kim Kalicki of Germany just close behind her after the first run, only 800ths in her pocket, she needed another good trip, and the Swiss driver produced it. First time racing here in Whistler, she had 1 week of pre-season training and then the official runs to dial herself in the monobob and the 2-seat sled, and it looked like the results were positive. Melanie Hassler into the lead with 4 sleds to go. Just a few hundreds ahead of Hassler, 1200s in fact, Olympic and world monobob champion Kaylee Humphries. She grew up sliding in Canada before moving to the USA and knows this track like the back of her hand. Nevertheless, she was still having to fight for every 100th of a second to keep her advantage alive. Good speed, but low down, just 1 or 2 tiny errors creeping in, enough to rob her of a potential runaway. And at the line, it was closer than she would have wanted. Just enough to keep her in the lead with 3 sleds to go. Kaylee Humphries on the fringes of a medal. Into the top 3 with 2 Canadians and an Olympic champion remaining. Cynthia Appia, the start record holder, got even closer to matching it with her second run just a couple of hundreds away. And another good run was required to stay ahead of former teammate Humphries. Little mistakes early on meant that her 1200ths of a second advantage was gradually being eroded, and as she neared the finishing line, she was just a whisker in front. She would need all of her ability to hang on, duck for the line, and it was just enough. She was in the medals, 200ths in front of the Olympic champion. Final 2 sleds included rookie Bianca Reeby, just 1 World Cup start to her credit as a brake woman for her teammate Alicia Rissling in 2019, but her debut as a driver saw her within a fraction of leading the field, just 100th behind after the first heat, and her second run looked even better, holding off teammate Cynthia Appia and building her advantage over her Canadian teammate. A little flop late on, just a reminder that this track is fast and tricky, but it was Bianca Reeby who guaranteed herself at least a silver medal on her World Cup debut as a driver. The final sled was that of our Olympic women's bobsleigh champion, Lara Nolter. She'd had 100th of a second in hand after the first heat, but her first run was a little bit of a mismatch. It wasn't as good as we'd expected. She looked for more in the second heat, but looked a little too far, and 50-50 claimed another victim. Pushed away in 11 and 12, she rolled over in corner 13, and across the line, she would end up only 7th. She and teammate Lisa Bukvitz both crashing in the second heat. Both were okay, and Bianca Reeby ended up the surprised winner from Cynthia Appia and Kaylee Humphries. And it is Reeby who leads the World Cup standings after an astonishing debut on home ice.